and the omnibus. So I was forced into the Archers when I was a child. And look, it's come back to bite me later on. I'm awash with this stuff.
The Archers is the world's longest-running radio show, with more than 15,000 episodes broadcast. Despite being a rural flavour show, The Archers is recorded in the heart of...
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're digging into, well, just a single day in a rural community. And what we're finding is, it's quite revealing. Layers of commitments, old tensions flaring up, and this is the surprising bit, Christmas planning kicking off like crazy in October.
Yeah, it's a fascinating snapshot, isn't it? It really shows what happens when there's just no slack left in the system, emotionally or organizationally. So our mission today is to pull out the key threads. Who exactly is carrying the load at Brookfield Farm right now? How businesses are trying to cope, with the shadow of past problems hanging over them, and also why the village seems to be facing this sudden entertainment gap.
Right. We're going to trace all these pressures, the scheduling chaos, the financial strain underneath it all, and this thing they call the Meadow Farm vortex. It helps us understand why every little decision feels so high stakes at the moment.
Exactly. Let's start there with that lack of slack. Section 1, the Brookfield Balancing Act. You can really see the immediate cost of community support landing squarely on Pip, especially with it being half-term.
Oh, absolutely. You read through this, and the word that just screams out is exhaustion. Pip's landed with morning milking all week. She's basically juggling the work of 2 farms. And it's not just that Meadow Farm's struggling. It's that Brookfield is now stretched thin trying to prop it up.
That's a really key point. Meadow Farm isn't just having a tough time, it's described as being in a terrible state. Like yesterday, there was that whole issue with the taps. Aram and Khalil have to go fix that today. So the crisis is practical, it's ongoing, and it's forcing Brookfield to divert its own people, its time, its focus.
Yeah, patching holes somewhere else. And this whole labor crisis, it's clashing really violently with Pip's own need for family time. Toby's off to Lisbon tomorrow night. So today is literally the last chance for any decent time with him and Rosie. She really wants to take Rosie and Madison pumpkin picking tomorrow and, get started on Rosie's Halloween witch costume with grand sewing machine.
And that just perfectly shows the impossible bind these families are in, doesn't it? The farm work never stops, it's non-negotiable. But the family stuff, like grabbing that special moment before a parent leaves, feels just as critical. It's burnout, basically, spelled out in the schedule.
And on top of all that work, Pip's also trying to support Lottie. Lottie's just left this job she absolutely hated.
Right, the insurance one.
Yeah, for a receptionist job at the surgery. It's lower pay, but she's hoping the better hours will make up for it. So Pip's not just physically drained, her emotional energy must be completely tapped out too.
Meanwhile, you've got the men focused on their own sort of high-stakes business tasks, which just makes Pip feel more isolated, really. Dad's off meeting Freddie at the Avatar about slaughter dates. They're desperate to avoid that meat box disaster they had last Christmas.
Oh yeah, that was a mess.
And Josh, he's all about the egg deliveries, says he needs to, quote, charm a new customer. So everyone's scrambling to keep the Brookfield business afloat, but it kind of feels like it's at the expense of the main caregiver.
Which brings us right to what Pip calls the Meadow Farm vortex. Mom's constantly being pulled over there to help Esme with milking. And Pip's asking this really pointed question. Who's actually running Brookfield half the time? She voices that core worry. Brookfield can't carry on supporting her forever.
And that worry is so important because it touches on the real financial risk of relying on this kind of neighborly help. I mean, Esme's grateful, sure, she sends over little treats for the helpers.
Kitchen treats, yeah.
But gratitude doesn't exactly pay the bills, does it? Pip seems to be the only one really facing the actual concrete cost. And it makes her feel like she's just moaning, while maybe the others are, I don't know, in denial.
So how does this system, which seems ready to just buckle, respond? Well, it gives a little. Josh comes back with news. Dad's managed to shift a meeting he had on Thursday so he can cover Tuesday's milking morning and afternoon.
Ah, a reprieve.
Exactly. Pip gets to go pumpkin picking. It's like the family realized the pressure cooker was about to blow and found a temporary fix. Esme sends a massive thank you over to Pip.
It's a huge relief in the moment. You can feel it. But those deeper cracks, they're still there. Because the pressure has obviously eroded some trust. When Josh tells her the good news, Pip's first reaction is suspicion.
Yeah, she asks him straight up.
She asks if he really just went over to Meadow Farm this morning for admin. She voices this doubt. Maybe his real reason is that he fancies someone there.
Ooh, now that's interesting. So Pip's wondering if the family helping the neighbor, if that's actually masking something else, like a personal, maybe even romantic motive. The cost isn't just being tired, it's becoming cynical about your own family's reason.
Precisely. The sheer pressure makes everyone start questioning the why behind everything.
Okay, well, speaking of pressure and maybe questionable motives, let's pivot. We're going from the farmyard stress straight into section 2, commerce, conflict, and Christmas in October. And we start with Eddie Grundy's incredibly full-on turkey sales campaign.
Oh, it's quite something. A real masterclass in generating pre-holiday panic. He's pitching Joy, telling her he needs to mentally shoot her 59 days into the future so she can picture this perfect Christmas dinner. He's not just selling turkey, he's selling a whole vision that requires her to act now.
I have to say, that 59 days line...
Introducing the Archer's Mug, where elegance meets everyday comfort. Crafted from premium white ceramic, designed with vibrant peekaboo colors inside, simple, modern, and stylish. Start your day the Archer's way, with warmth, familiarity, and the comfort of voices you've come to love. As the stories unfold on the Archers, let this mug become part of your daily ritual, a small reminder of life in Ambridge. Practical for every home, dishwasher and microwave safe. Available in 2 sizes, 11 ounces and 15 ounces, designed to fit your lifestyle. Enjoy your favorite drink in a mug that connects you to Britain's most beloved countryside story, The Archers. For more information, and to order your very own The Archer's mug, follow the link below and make it part of your daily routine.
It makes me feel stressed. Is this kind of super early aggressive marketing actually, effective? Or is it maybe a sign of Eddie's own anxiety?
Yeah.
He's using all the classic pressure tactics. You snooze, you lose.
Yeah.
He's pushing her to order a large turkey, specifically to force her hand into planning a big Christmas meal, whether she was planning one or not.
It definitely feels like desperation wearing a confident disguise. Eddie's trying to ride that seasonal wave, obviously, but he's got the specific problem this year that makes his business particularly tricky, what we're calling the George factor.
Right. And why is the George factor such a big deal now? What's changed from last year?
Well, last year, George wasn't around. He was literally in prison. So for a lot of customers, his actions were sort of out of sight, out of mind. But now George is back. He's physically present in the community. And the source material says it's less easy for folk to forget what he did.
Wow.
So Eddie's trying to sell under a family name that's currently linked pretty directly to some kind of community offense. It forces customers to think about the ethics of buying from them.
Okay, wait a second. If George's reputation is potentially that damaging, why stick with the Grundy name? Why not try to launch, I don't know, a separate brand, something without that baggage? Does this suggest that maybe underneath it all, community loyalty, that long-standing connection, is actually stronger than the recent offense?
That's a really sharp question. It definitely suggests Eddie's made a big commercial bet. He's banking on the idea that the history, the established name of Grange Farm, plus his own sales push, will win out over the bad press. He needs to shift a lot of turkeys fast, probably to offset the risk that comes with George being back.
And you see that drive, that urgency in his marketing tactics down at the pub. He actually manages to negotiate getting his flyers put right on the bar.
Prime real estate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the detail that really stands out is they're placed specifically beside the box of bubbies.
It's an amazing contrast, isn't it? Pure, hard-nosed marketing right next to, fluffy innocence. It just shows Eddie's laser focus. Put the product where people will see it. No messing about.
And we also get confirmation that this George situation is causing friction internally. There's a separate chat overheard at the pub. Someone admits that even though a decision was made about George, it doesn't sit easy with him. Especially because George apparently stuck his neck out for us sometime in the past.
That's a really crucial piece of information. It shows that whatever George did, it created these conflicting loyalties. The fallout is still being felt not just by Eddie trying to sell turkeys, but socially, within the community itself. People are wrestling with George's past good deeds versus his more recent misdeeds.
Okay, so we've got the farm crisis, the weight of the Grundy name, the turkey sales pressure. Let's shift gears again. Section 3. This is where we see the community react to some good news, finally, but also deal with a sudden leadership void.
Yeah, finally something positive. Kenton won South Bull Set Sheer Pub of the Year. And the praise was apparently flowing. Lillian called him the heart and soul of the place. And apparently his acceptance speech set a new standard. So this is a massive boost for the Bull's reputation.
And Kenton is taking this very, very seriously. He gets this big wine delivery, which is nice, but the trophy, that's the main event. He's obsessed with keeping it safe and making sure everyone sees it. He insists it goes on the top shelf, right out of reach.
And his reasons for putting it there are quite telling. He wants it safe from Aram. Presumably Aram's a child or just clumsy. And he also doesn't want it blocked by people queuing at the bar. This isn't just pride, though. It's like he's carefully guarding his new status. The award needs to be visible, but protected from the everyday messiness of pub life kids, queues, clutter. His slight paranoia there just highlights how much this public recognition means.
But that celebratory feeling doesn't last long before the next mini-crisis hits. And this one is purely about community fun, or the lack thereof. We get the bombshell news that Linda Snell, the person who organizes everything, has decided she's stepping back this year.
Yes. This is where you really see how much communities like this rely on specific key people. Linda's just finished organizing the Fate and the Flower and Produce show, and she's announced she wants a quiet Christmas with Robert. Though the sources do mention Robert's grandson and family might be visiting, so how quiet it'll actually be is another question.
The reaction is instant panic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Christmas just won't be the same without the usual panto or the big festive show.
Yeah.
The second Linda says she needs a break, there's this immediate sense of an entertainment vacuum opening up.
It's the perfect illustration of that lack of slack we talked about earlier, but for community events. They lean so heavily on Linda's energy, her organization skills, her sheer dedication, that when she steps down, the whole Christmas program just sort of collapses. There's no plan B, no committee ready to step in.
So who steps up? Joy. The same Joy who was just getting the hard sell from Eddie about turkeys. She decides she has to organize something simple. Even though she clearly has no spare time, the need is so obvious she feels compelled to fill the gap.
And just like Pip got that last-minute help from her dad covering milking, Joy gets last-minute help from the wider network. Josh, fresh from his own stressful egg delivery mission, pipes up with an idea, something he heard about through young farmers. And Joy, probably just desperate for any workable plan, grabs it immediately. They drive off together right then and there to talk details.
It's this amazing pattern repeating itself, isn't it? Whether it's the farm crisis or the panto crisis, the problems get solved, or at least managed for now, by people shifting things around, unexpected collaborations, last-minute saves. The whole system seems to run on improvisation.
Yeah, if you pull it all together, the main lesson here seems to be that in this kind of tightly wound environment, everything connects. Pip's burnout forces Dad to reschedule. George's past actions force Eddie into aggressive sales tactics. Linda's need for a break creates an instant hole in village life.
The community is definitely resilient, you can't deny that. But the amount of strain needed to maintain that resilience is just huge. It feels like it's all held together by favors, sudden schedule changes, and just a refusal to let everything fall apart.
So, given that Linda Snell, the queen of Christmas productions, is stepping back and Joy's jumping in with Josh and this simple young farmer's idea, it leaves us with a really interesting question for you, the listener. Will a simple project actually cut it for a village used to Linda's all-singing, all-dancing extravaganzas? Or could this sudden gap actually be the start of something new, maybe a less pressured, more sustainable way for the community to have?
So what are you doing now?
Just getting ready for the next episode. Just
And,
moving mics around.
So what do you do?
I do the spot effects on the arches. Any
Are you what we
movements
call Foley then?
and- kind of. Yep. That's,
Okay. And these are all part of the paraphernalia of production.
yep. That's the bull bar. That's,
This one.
yep. That's.
Haley so wanted to be in their own place when their baby came. It's due in 2 months. Not much chance of that now. No. I mean, it would have been a stretch for them financially, mind, but I just wish there was something practical I could do to help them, Caroline.
I think The Archers has had this immense popularity over the years, basically because it has always very accurately reflected the reality of life and living in a rural community at whatever